Ponder that, because I'm going to go to San Diego right now. Great to see you, David. Thank you so much. Let's talk more about the first 100 days and what is going on right now. A lot of news. We're going to go to San Diego right now, where Attorney General Jeff Sessions and Secretary of Homeland Security John Kelly, they have been on a tour of the border with a focus on immigration, of course. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Attorney General, you said in an interview this week that, and I want to make sure I quote you perfectly, that you were amazed that a judge sitting on an island in the Pacific can issue an order that stops the President of the United States from what appears to be clearly his statutory and constitutional power. You're talking there about the federal judge in Hawaii who halted the travel ban. There's been a lot of response to your comment. Just one here from Hawaii Senator Brian Schatz. He tweeted this at you, actually. Mr. Attorney General, in his tweet, you voted for that judge, he wrote, and that island is called Oahu. It's my home, he writes. Have some respect. Were you disrespecting the judge, Mr. Attorney General? The senator thinks so.
No, I wasn't criticizing the judge or the island. I think it's a fabulous place and had a granddaughter born there. But I got to tell you, it is a point worth making that a single sitting district judge out of 600, 700 district judges can issue an order stopping a presidential executive order that I believe is fully constitutional, designed to protect the United States of America from terrorist attack. And I was just raising the point of that issue of a single judge taking such a dramatic action and the impact it can have.
Do you wish you'd phrased it differently now?
Pardon me?
Do you wish you had phrased that differently now?
Well, I don't know that I said anything that I would want to phrase differently. No, we're going to defend the president's order. We believe it's constitutional. We believe there is specific statutory authority for everything in that order that he did and he has a right to do and to protect this country. It only delayed 6 nations who have real terrorist connections for 90 days in the immigration process. He directed the entities of our government to review our present policies to make sure we're not admitting any terrorists. I think that's a perfectly reasonable thing for the president, who has all access to intelligence, defense information, other kind of information that none of the judges in America have.
Secretary Kelly, if I could move on to you. You're on the border highlighting the progress the administration's made curbing illegal immigration. Yesterday, you said that nothing had been done in the last 8 years in terms of real enforcement of the border. What did you mean by that?
Well, like I said, nothing's been done in the last 8 years to truly enforce the border rules and regulations, not to mention many of the immigration laws inside the United States. This is my second trip to the border. While down here, second trip to San Diego, while down here, I've met with local law enforcement. I was in El Paso yesterday, met with the mayor. I met with the mayor of McAllen, Texas earlier. This is all about supporting or safeguarding the southwest border, but at the same time, and this is critical, making sure that the free flow of legal movement of people and commercial interests north and south happen. And we're dedicated to that. Mr. Trump has made that one of my marching orders, and not to get in the way of trade north and south. And again, the normal movement of legal personnel, people moving north and south.
But, Secretary, your own agency has put out stats showing that hundreds of thousands of undocumented immigrants were deported or sent back under Obama. Even in a single year, it was 400,000 in 1 year. I mean, he was even called deporter-in-chief by Latino groups. How can both of these things be true? Nothing was done, and he was considered
Well, nothing was done truly to secure the border legally. That's why you had so many individuals coming north and consequently so many captured and sent south. One of the great things about what we've done, what the president has done in his first 100 days, although I'm not so sure I'm not particularly hung up on that 100 days, but what he has done.
He doesn't seem to be either now.
Made it clear. Yeah, to make it clear that, well, this is a long game. This isn't a short game. This is a series of things we'll do over the next 8 years. But the point is that those that would come up here illegally have decided to not make that dangerous trek as we secure the border. So the fact is that we have fewer and fewer and fewer people, a radical reduction in the last 2 months of illegal crossings. So yes, I mean, under the Obama administration, they turned back a large number of individuals. But that's because there was a very, very open border almost. And certainly once in, most illegals that moved into the United States, generally speaking, understood once they got here to the United States and got into the interior, they could stay, disappear into the population.
Mr. Attorney General, sources are telling CNN the Department of Justice has prepared charges to seek the arrest of Julian Assange. Has new information come to light about Assange? Because a lot of folks are wondering what's changed. Why now?
Well, we're not commenting on any investigation that may or not take place in the Department of Justice. I am concerned and have made that clear for some time now that we're having way too much leaks. It's providing and inflicting real damage on our nation and our national security. We've got to have much more discipline within our governmental structure, and we've got to be aggressive against those who, from the outside, who penetrate our systems.
Are you looking for ways to try to charge Assange?
Well, we're always trying to do our duty under the law, and under our policies, I don't confirm or deny the existence of investigations.
But he is still hiding, regardless, he is still hiding out in that Ecuadorian embassy, Mr. Attorney General. He's untouchable while he's there. Do you have any indication that that is changing, that he's going to be leaving or be forced out?
I'm not going to comment on the status of that, just to say that I understand my responsibility, and that is to use such powers as I have to protect the legitimate security interest of the United States. We've seen too many breaches, and hopefully we'll be able to strike back against those who violate our systems.
Should folks be concerned that this would also open up news organizations like CNN or the New York Times to prosecution?
That's speculative, and I'm not able to comment on that. I think I understood your question. I'm having a little difficulty hearing.
I'm so sorry. I'll keep trying to enunciate, Mr. Attorney General. Secretary Kelly, ISIS has now claimed responsibility for the attack in Paris yesterday. The administration's travel ban puts a temporary hold on people from 6 countries. No European country is on that list. But in light of this attack being carried out by a French national, should France be added to the list?
Well, again, it wasn't a travel ban. It was a travel pause in certain countries that had been identified by the Obama administration and then confirmed by the United States Congress.
So should they be added to the travel pause?
Stay with me here. A travel pause so that we could get our arms around increased vetting. There is terrorism throughout Europe and the Middle East. We're on top of the threats, and over time, we'll take whatever measures to protect the American homeland, and that includes aviation travelers from Europe, the Middle East, to the United States.
Do you think there should be a review if there should be visa requirements for European countries like France in light of this?
Well, right now, most of the countries of Western Europe are visa waiver countries. They come to the United States for limited periods of time very easily. And right now, I have no plans to change that arrangement.
Attorney General, the case of the so-called dreamer that is now before the judge, the same judge that candidate Trump attacked, saying that he couldn't fairly preside over Trump's case during the election because of his Mexican heritage. Do you think Judge Gonzalo Curiel should recuse himself?
I think the judge, that first recusal will be his decision. I know of no reason at this point to expect anything other than that we get a fair day in court. I fully intend to defend General Kelly and his team for the work they've done, and we expect that any federal judge that hears it will hear it objectively and according to the law and the facts.
Secretary Kelly, just yesterday you said the construction of the border wall would begin by the end of the summer. Do you have the money in place? How much of the wall is expected to be constructed and where?
Yeah, what I said yesterday, we hope to begin construction by the end of the summer. Mm-hmm. Clearly, as I said yesterday, we're not going to build a wall in an afternoon. So one of the reasons I've come here with the Attorney General, and I've been down here before and I'll continue to come down to the border, is to talk to the people that really know the problems of the border. That is my people in DHS, particularly the Customs and Border Protection people, but just as importantly, the governors of the states, if they're willing to see me, local legislators, members of Congress, if they're willing to see me, but certainly the local mayors and the local law enforcement to get a sense for what they want. I was in El Paso yesterday, had great conversation with the mayor of that city, along with the chief of police, got really, really good ideas about their feelings towards the wall. And like anyone, what they want, the border communities want, legal passage back and forth, whether it's goods and services or individuals. So we're taking all of that under consideration, and then we will commence the construction of the wall in those places first that make sense, and then build out from there.
Do you have an idea of what section first?
Where the CVP tell us it's most important. So we're putting that together now into a plan, and that's where we'll start.
Gotcha. Mr. Attorney General, I'm sorry, go ahead.
We've had great progress on the General Kelly at the border, the lowest month of entry last month in 17 years. But we're not there yet. We do need that wall, and we want to bring this down to virtually zero. We want people in America to know that we've secured the border. We have a lawful system of immigration, one that we can be proud of and that serves the national interest. You know, we admit 1.1 million each year to permanent residents in America. We are a generous nation, so we ask people not to come illegally. Things will not work for you, but make your application and wait your time.
Since you brought it up, Attorney General, one final question. Leaning on your time in the Senate, are you concerned that money, if requested for the border wall that would go in the government funding bill, would threaten a shutdown? Do you think it's worth it?
Money in the bill for what purpose? I missed that.
To build the wall. Are you concerned it would threaten yeah.
I think Congress will provide necessary funds, and there'll be ways to fund this wall, and I believe we've got to do it. And it's the final step to moving us from the success we've had so far to a permanent system where we can be proud of and ending the lawlessness.
Mr. Attorney General, Secretary Kelly, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time, gentlemen. Coming up, a breakthrough or another bust in the making. The White House wants a new health care bill before the 100-day mark. Can Republicans in Congress deliver and come together? Plus,